The biggest problem our world faces today is we are by depleting natural resources. This has been going on for a long time, but from the beginning of the industrial age, the rate of depletion of natural resources has gone exponential. This problem getting worse as population and consumption keep growing faster than technology finds new way what can be produced from natural world. Also technical progress, but we need to understand that the rate at which we are destroying our planet could cause irreversible effects. We need to think what kind of the world we want to live for our children, and therefore we should start taking some drastic measures. Many of the governments of the developed countries have signed all sorts of treaties regarding this problem, and this is a good start. But I believe that the power to make a real difference lies in our hands. If each and every one of us would become more self-conscious about the depleting of natural resources and would start doing on his or her part, only will the conservation effort pay off. There are many ways in which anyone can contribute to conservation effort, but I believe the most effective way is stop using natural resources which they really don't need. As now we are all in Thailand, so I want to introduce some well-known natural resources in this country. Thailand is rich in natural resources. Among the known mineral deposits are gold, coal, tungsten, tin, lead, manganese, and precious stones. The rich overall soil along Chao Phraya and other rivers constitute another important resource. Next, Fern will explain about preventing natural resources from being depleted.
Thank you, Mint. Now I will talk about the main strategy of maintaining natural resources so that they will still remain for our descendants for a long time.
Write both sides of paper. Drink from glass or reusable hard plastic cups instead of paper cups or plastic cups. Use cloth towels and napkins instead of paper towels and napkins. Turn old clothes into new clothes by trading with a friend. Take a clothes bag to the grocery store instead of paper bags or plastic bags. These examples are well known, and everyone gets used to them. Next, I will introduce more detail about conserving natural resources.
The first one is energy saving homes. I think that the first step each and every one of us should take in order to stop depleting natural resources is to understand that our day-to-day habits affect the way we consume our planet's natural resources. I'm talking first of all about the home we live in. In architecture, the growing trend is to build a so-called passive houses. These buildings are so well insulated that the heat exchange with the exterior is minimal. Therefore, you don't need to waste your precious energy to heat up your home in the winter. 2 is energy efficient commercial buildings. Of course, the problem is not only with where people live, but also where they work as well. Commercial buildings are notoriously big energy consumers, and if we want to do something about depleting natural resources, this can be where to start.
3.
replant our cities. The biggest problems regarding depleting natural resources can be seen in the cities. Almost all the plant life has had to make way for ever expanding financial or commercial centers. No, we find ourselves in cities are being suffocated because there are no plants to reduce the pollution and to provide us a fresh fruit and vegetables. Think of how much energy is wasted through the constant shifting of the fresh product from farmlands to the big cities. A great solution is to start with planting the small gardens on the roof in the buildings in the cities. It's not that hard and the rewards are immense.
4 is eco-friendly energy. Another way to which we could stop depleting natural resources is to focus our effort on renewable energy sources. The rate of using fossil fuel seems to be numberless because in about 100 years, at the rate of our consumption, there wouldn't be any left. The future is harnessing the power of rivers, wind turbines, and solar energies. Here, I want to inform you more about renewable energy resources that are unlimited and clean energy. Hydropower. The pressure moving water turn turbine that create energy. Hydropower may use rivers, waterfalls, or the sea. But hydropower can have environmental effect on aquatic life. Wind. Gas turbine is placed on the top of hills or offshore. The wind turns the blade and energy is generated. Wind turbines are relatively cheap and zero pollution. Solar. Solar panel absorb sunlight and using photovoltaic cell turn it into electricity. Solar panels are zero pollution, but they can only operate for certain time of day. 5 is garbage management. Another key factor in the quest for a cleaner planet is how we will be able to manage our garbage in the future. A huge part of what we throw away can be and should be reused, and therefore we wouldn't always be on the hunt for ways of extracting resources from our planet. 6. Stop using resources you don't need. And now, getting back where we began, I have to say that it depends on every one of us to make a change. For example, stop leaving water on where you are brushing your teeth. It's just wasteful. 7 is reuse, reduce, and recycle. Reuse means to use again, especially in different ways. Don't throw out clothes, toys, furniture, and other things that you don't need anymore. Somebody else can use them. You should bring them to a center of collect donations, give to friends, or even help yourself. Reduce means using fewer resources in the first place, close the water pump and electrical equipment when not using it. Recycle is a process of collecting and processing material that would otherwise be thrown away as trash and turning them into new products. Useless paper taken up through recycling process create eco paper. Finally, I want to persuade everybody around the world to think small before you buy or left everything, because every product uses many energies and materials to produce. There are many campaigns that you can participate in to save our planet. That's all I want to say. Now we have told you several ways to conserve natural resources. Next, Nan will talk about example of them.
Thank you, Nan. Next, I will give you 4 examples of natural resources. First one is a fossil fuel. which is a non-renewable energy. Preventing the depletion of fossil fuel usually discussed in terms of using less gasoline and electricity, which is typically produced through the burning of fossil fuel. Driving less and carpooling more are an obvious way to conserve gasoline. Other consumer purchases that support the conservation of fossil fuel include buying a vehicle with high gas mileage and purchasing Energy Star appliances.
The next natural resource I want to introduce you is clean water. Water may seem like a ubiquitous, never-ending resource, but as the population increases, the access to clean water decreases. There are several steps you can take around your home to make sure that you are not wasting clean water. One major step is to check for water leak by reading your water meter. Another effective way to conserve water is to close the water pump when not using it. Next is about trees and forests. With approximately 4 billion trees being cut annually to satiate our world need for paper only, preventing the depletion of forests still be an important priority. There are many opportunities in our daily life to reduce the use of paper. From using more cloth towels instead of paper towels, or you can use e-book rather than the real book. When visiting the local forest, you can also it's important for you to act responsibly, or you can participate in the campaign of growing trees. The last natural resource I want to introduce you is coastal ecosystem. Coastal ecosystems are not just only important for maintaining biodiversity, they are also extremely valuable for fishing and tourism industry. Whether living near a coastal area or not, seafood consumers should be aware of how their purchasing decisions affect the environment. Reefs are sensitive for disturbances, so we should approach them with care and respect. For those people driving or snorkeling around a reef, a good rule of thumb is take only pictures and leave only bubbles. I will summarize what we have recently talked. As our world nowadays, we are facing a problem such as running out of natural resources and global warming. Those dilemmas are all caused by humans. So we have to take an urgent action before it's too late. We should be aware of our own behavior and think before use. You can also use our strategy mentioned recently. Keep in mind that every single action has an impact on environment. If everyone in the world have responsibility for their own action, the world will be a lot more beautiful